was I was travelling a few years ago, and I was in Australia. So in terms of roasting, the company the guy who owned the company I worked for had a few other sort of coffee operations, and he had a central roastery which was supplying all these different things. So one of these days I had to go and collect some coffee for the guys I worked for, and that's when I first saw the roaster, and naturally was just sort of asking lots of questions, and that was it really, and it just sort of, the level of what they were doing just completely blew my mind. I don't think people really understand that apart from how coffee's grown and processed and all the effects that it has on coffee, then the sort of scientific approach to cooking coffees and assessing them, then test roasting and roasting different ways, cooking them again, and don't people really understand you have to go through all this process to try and nail down what you do with the coffee, or I think that whole science approach to it, and I really found that quite fascinating. So once I decided I wanted to start the company, I got myself on a roasting course at the London School of Coffee. So that was kind of affirming a lot of the research I've done already. But yeah, so and then that was it, and it's like a lot of it's any profession or experience so once you actually physically start doing it, then that's it really, and just trusting the palate, and test roasting, tasting, maybe pulling shots at extraction, seeing how it all reacts, and feeding it back, and after a while you just get a feel for it really, and that's kind of how it's developed from there really. But so I've not worked for another roaster and kind of picked things up and then started my own thing, so very much self-taught really, I mean, off the back of getting the Think Called Boss in Cafe magazine, I got a few orders from people down in Canterbury. But I do supply quite a few sort of brands, Northern Quarter, Ancoats, Northern Quarter, Chorlton, Didsbury. One's opening a place in Oldham and another in Middleton, I think, as well. So kind of starting to spread out a little bit.
Yeah, great.
Right.